Today's video will be on beating your competition, and we'll focus on some of the largest landlords in the world and how they'll be competing with you. So what we have here is a subscribe button. Go ahead and subscribe there, like this video here, and leave a comment down below if you want to hear more content like this. All right, so what do we have? We have large landlords. We're talking companies, investment firms, real estate investment trusts that own 30,000, 80,000, and soon to be more homes. All right, let's get into it. On our slide today, on today's quick video on beating your competition, we have Tricon American Homes and Invitation Homes, two of the largest landlords in the United States. Invitation Homes goes ahead and owns about 80,000 single-family houses in the country, and Tricon American Homes owns 30,000. Back in the GFC, the last foreclosure crisis, they went ahead and bought up a ton, which is why they're as big as they are now. Between these two, Blackstone is a huge investor. Blackstone supposedly sold off their stake in Invitation Homes and is buying into Tricon American Homes. Let's go see who Blackstone is. So from Blackstone's website, they say they're a leading global investment business investing capital on behalf of pension funds, large institutions, and individuals. All right, good for them. What does that mean? That means they go ahead and buy a company and then take huge loans against it. It's called a leverage buyout, and completely destroy the company they buy and then sell it. They try to take it public and sell it to get their money back and a profit, while leaving that corporation saddled with debt, so it has no choice but to go out of business or get a loan from the government, a bailout. So that's what Blackstone is. They own $167 billion in real estate. Hopefully it's commercial real estate for the most part. That way, in this nice crash that's going on in the commercial real estate market, they completely lose their ass because they deserve it. They are a horrible company. Okay, anyway, that's who they are. That's enough trash talking about them. I'm sure I'll get a cease and desist letter from their army of lawyers. Back to the slide. So there you go, that's who Blackstone is. They went ahead and spent about $12 billion with Invitation Homes when they jumped into the housing market back in the 2008 through 2017 crisis. As we were coming out of it, they went ahead and bought up a ton of distressed homes, about $10 billion worth, and then spent an additional $2 billion fixing them up. So they owned a huge stake, if not the entire stake, in Invitation Homes, took the company public. I'm sure they leveraged it out, so now that it's saddled with debt, they're cutting everybody's pay over there and probably firing people, now that Blackstone doesn't care about them anymore. So, in kind of a lead up, a sign, an indicator, like we talk about our Case-Shiller Housing Bubble Index right here. This is the Case-Shiller Housing Bubble Index. We talk about it a lot. Okay, back to the slide. One indicator of a housing bubble and companies preparing to purchase a ton of stuff would be Blackstone moving back into these companies to begin purchasing homes again. They tend to do a lot of research and know a lot more than us normal people out here. I would call us Main Street people who get left out all the decisions and get stuck holding the bag. But when Blackstone kind of senses from their bank partners in the federal government that there could be a burst in some sort of bubble, they get ready to move into that to soak up all of the blood in the streets and go ahead and make some money. So anyway, that's enough talk about them. They went ahead and put $300 million into Tricon American Homes in the last month or two here. And why was that? Oh, they say because there's good upside in that. Well, or could it be that everybody's forbearance is going to go ahead and run out in the next 6 months here, and Blackstone needs its toes in the market so that it can pick up more properties? Anyway, what do? They buy in distressed markets. They focus on homes that are undervalued, foreclosed on, coming out of foreclosure. They can pay cash to where you as a normal real estate investor probably can't just soak up $500 million in homes because you really don't have $500 million sitting in your pocket. So they go ahead and do that. They fix them up and then they rent them out to people. Maybe in some cases they resell them, but their big business is being a huge landlord because of the returns it gets. They only do this in certain cities. We will show you in a few minutes, and this is what will help you beat your competition. You know who, in this case, this competition is, and we're going to go ahead and show the cities so you know where it's at and how to beat them. The good thing is they go ahead and tell you where they're purchasing properties so that you know if they're in your market. They can't just buy stuff everywhere, right? They kind of have to focus, get like offices put together and get like property managers in a market, which costs a bunch of money. So they can't just buy all over the dang place, middle of Ohio, middle of nowhere, out in the middle of Colorado, right here, whatever. So they focus on like Indianapolis, Nashville, Raleigh, North Carolina. But look at Florida, Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, and Miami, or Southeast Florida, whatever, they buy all over there. So there you go. They show you what markets they're in. So if you're in any of these markets here, you know that you will be competing with them in a housing crash. You're probably already competing with them, but they kind of slowed down on their purchases because there's no foreclosures or distressed properties right now. So what does that mean for you? That means for you, you know they're here. You know they're here. You know they're over in Texas. So if you're in these markets and you know you're competing with them, what they do, they put in a low bid on a property, possibly a cash offer, and then if you put in a bid above them, they will get in a bidding war with you. They have some broker, some buyer out there that has a certain amount they can pay for the property, and they'll go all the way up to that, driving the price of that property up so it's out of reach for you or other investors. It's pretty bad, really. It's kind of stupid. They take advantage of having a huge pool of money. Last time it was $10 billion they had, and they just stretched it out as far as they could to buy like 80,000 homes. This time they're going to do the same thing. And watch, you can come to their website and just kind of put in Tricon American Homes, figure out where they're buying, and you know if you're competing with them. If you're a normal landlord who has a property outside of one of those states, you know you're not going to compete with them, and you'll have a better opportunity to buy properties there as opposed to where they're buying properties, because guess what? Their purse is bigger than yours. We'll switch over to Invitation Homes here, Atlanta, Carolina, Chicago, Dallas, Denver. You can just go to their website and figure out where all they're buying. And also with those markets, when they purchase there, they soak up all those foreclosures so that the market bottoms out a lot quicker. And you'll have that effect there where prices won't drop as much because they're picking up all of the distressed properties. To where right next door, like, I don't know, a mile outside of where they're buying homes, you'll see prices go through the floor because they don't care. They're not dropping billions of dollars into that market. They're dropping billions of dollars into South Florida, billions into Phoenix, billions into Orlando. They don't care if it's Ocala, Florida, which we talked about before, because they don't have a property manager there. It's too small a market for them. They can't just buy up 90% of the homes like they did in one distressed area of Atlanta last time. Okie dokie, back at our slide. What does it mean for you? What it means for you is pay attention to these markets that these large landlords are in, these large investment firms and real estate investment trusts. We call those REITs. And you'll be better off if you know they're there. You know your competition now, besides other landlords. I mean, other landlords are just like you, really. They're trying to find a good deal, trying to fix it up, and trying to rent it out and or flip it. These companies don't care. All they want to do is buy houses and then leverage out the company so their corporate overlords over at Blackstone can pull all their money out of the company while it's soaked with debt. So they're not very efficient about it. They just kind of go in and put in offers on houses that their algorithm tells them are good, and then they lose their ass on some of them to where you can really know the market better than their buyers. So you are more agile. you will be able to compete better with them. The only problem is they can go in with cash, which kind of beats and cuts out a lot of real estate investors. Pay attention to this if the housing market crashes. We'll put our video on housing market crash or housing market bubble up here. Whichever one I pick, it's going to be a good one. Go ahead and watch that, and we'll go back to our first slide. So that's how you beat your competition. You know that they're there. You know what markets they're in. And you know that you're better at buying property than they are. The only problem is they have cash, so be aware of that. They can go in and just, boom, plop a briefcase full of hundos down on the counter, shake the person's hand, and walk away with the keys. You can't really do that, so in some cases they will outcompete you. But guess what? There's always another foreclosure next door that they don't know about because their buyer won't make the most money on it when that buyer purchases the home. You know, they get, 2%, 3%, or whatever their commission is for buying a house, and the value assigned to it by the firm. So yeah, you'll be able to go and do all that. All right. Hey, that's it. There's another video right here. Subscribe right here. And y'all take her easy out there.